Long ago in the land of Judah, during the days when Israel had no king, and everyone did what was right in their own eyes, a severe famine struck the land. In the small town of Bethlehem, a man named Elimelech decided to move his family to the neighboring country of Moab, hoping to find food and a better life. He took with him his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. In Moab, the family settled and lived as foreigners. After some time, Elimelech died, leaving Naomi a widow. Her 2 sons married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. For 10 years, Naomi lived in Moab with her sons and daughters-in-law. But tragedy struck again. Both Mahlon and Chilion died. Naomi was left alone, grieving the loss of her husband and her sons in a foreign land. She heard that the famine in Judah had ended and decided to return to her homeland. She told Orpah and Ruth to go back to their families and remarry, hoping they could still find happiness. At first, both women insisted on staying with her, but Naomi urged them again, saying she had nothing more to offer them. Tearfully, Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye and returned home, but Ruth refused to leave. With tears in her eyes and fire in her heart, she spoke words that would echo through history. "Do not urge me to leave you or turn back from following you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried." Ruth 1:16-17. Naomi saw Ruth's determination and said no more. Together, the 2 widows walked the long road back to Bethlehem. When Naomi and Ruth arrived in Bethlehem, it was the beginning of the barley harvest. The town buzzed with whispers when they saw Naomi return after so many years, now aged and sorrowful. "Don't call me Naomi," she told them, which means pleasant. "Call me Mara," she said, which means bitter, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. With no husband, no sons, and no income, Naomi and Ruth were poor. So Ruth offered to go into the fields and glean, pick up the leftover grain behind the harvesters, as poor people were allowed to do under God's law. She happened to end up in the field of a wealthy and kind man named Boaz, who just so happened to be a relative of Elimelech, Naomi's late husband. Boaz noticed Ruth and asked about her. When he learned she was the young woman who had shown great loyalty to Naomi, he was deeply moved. He told Ruth not to go to any other field, but to stay under his protection. "May the Lord reward you," he said, "for all you have done for your mother-in-law." He invited her to eat with his workers and gave her extra grain to take home. Ruth returned to Naomi with an abundance, and Naomi was amazed. When Ruth told her the man's name was Boaz, Naomi's eyes lit up. "Boaz is one of our family's kinsman redeemers," she explained, "a man who by law could marry a widow to preserve the family line and inheritance." Naomi came up with a bold plan. One night, she told Ruth to go to the threshing floor where Boaz would be sleeping after a day's work. She instructed her to uncover his feet and lie there, a cultural sign that she was asking him to redeem her, to marry her as the family's guardian redeemer. Ruth did exactly as she was told. In the middle of the night, Boaz awoke and found her at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am Ruth, your servant," she replied. "Spread the corner of your garment over me, for you are a redeemer." Boaz was deeply honored. "You have shown great kindness," he said. "You could have chased after younger men, but you did not. I will do all you ask." But there was a problem. There was another man who was a closer relative who had the first right to redeem Ruth. Boaz promised to settle the matter the next morning. At the town gate the next day, Boaz met with the elders and the man who had the first right to redeem the land and marry Ruth. When Boaz explained that marrying Ruth was part of the redemption, the man declined. So Boaz declared before all the elders, "You are witnesses today that I have bought from Naomi all that to Elimelech, and I have taken Ruth the Moabite to be my wife." The people blessed the union, and soon Ruth and Boaz were married. God blessed them with a son whom they named Obed. Naomi, once bitter and broken, now held a grandson in her arms. The women of Bethlehem rejoiced. "Naomi has a son again." Obed grew up to be the father of Jesse, who became the father of David, the greatest king Israel ever had. And generations later, from David's line came Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world.